Welcome in, Wiffle Ball fans, to the 2018 edition of FLT Tonight, the Fox Lake Wiffle Ball Tournament preview show. We've got the FLT committee here with us tonight. I'm Tanner Peterson, the FLT Vice Commissioner and the Apes Captain.
I'm Kyler Stork, the Commissioner and the Captain of the American Mambas.
I'm Brett Lenz. I recently signed to the Mambas. You can watch my video of the decision on YouTube.
I'm Matt Ogden. I'm the captain of the Lakehawks.
So guys, we're celebrating our 5th year of the Fox Lake Wiffle Ball Tournament this year, and we've got a lot of history in our league. We've got 4 past championship teams. I'd love to recognize those teams. In 2014, Team 3 took home first place in the inaugural season. Matt Ogden, you were a part of that team. Would you like to talk about that experience?
Yeah, my teammate and I, Caden Stork, had an incredible run in 2014. We won every game of the tournament, pool play, and then won the semifinal in the championship game. In the championship game, we won by a lot of runs. I think the final was about 20-5 or something like that. Caden and I put on a great performance. We played well together, and we're really proud of winning the inaugural season.
All right, and the year after that, 2015, my team, the Apes, won it. We took down Owen and Evan Erickson in the championship game, a very hard-fought game, tough pitching all around. It went into extra innings, and we just got enough momentum to hit one out of the park, and that's what won it for us. And the year after that, in 2016, the Diesels, in their first year, won the championship. They don't have a representative here today, but Kyler Stork, Commissioner, will talk about their team.
Yeah, so the Diesels, we didn't know they were 2 rookies, but they both had varsity baseball experience. So they came out, and they did not look like they played varsity baseball. Talking 9 straight outs. Tanner threw a perfect game that game. Lipka fell to the ground, and it wasn't looking bright for the Diesels. But after that game, they kind of just suckered down and steamrolled the rest of the tournament and got hot and won it.
All right, and then in 2017, the last season, my team, the Apes, won it as well. Mark Ogden carried our team on the mound against the Diesels, and we won the 3-game series, taking home our 2nd ever championship. As this is our 5th year, we do have 5 players that have played all 5 seasons. We'd like to recognize those players. 3 of them are on the committee. Matt Ogden, he was on the Lakehawks this year. Kyler Stork, the American Mambas, and myself on the Apes. We have 2 players that are not on the committee that are also 5th-year players. Caden Stork, who's on the Lakehawks, and Daniel Ogden, who is also on the Lakehawks. Talk about a team with a lot of experience, the Lakehawks, 3 5th-year players. But we're proud of all our 5-year players for sticking through all these 5 years with us. So now let's get into the teams. First off, we'll talk about the defending champion Apes. They are captained by Tanner Peterson, and his teammate is Mark Ogden. Kylie, you want to talk about them a little?
Yeah, so the Apes are probably our greatest asset to the FLT. Great team. Mark, when he's on the bump, it's going to be a dogfight if you're the opposing players. He's got a great slider, and he's got a good command with the fastball. And hitting, it's hit or miss. When they're on, they're going to be really tough because they put the ball in play. One of the clutchest players in the FLT, Tanner Peterson. He does have a walk-off home run to win it in the 2nd ever FLT. But when the Apes are on, which they always are, they're a tough team to beat, and they're the powerhouse of the FLT. So if you take them down, your team's doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, the Apes are just year after year the powerhouse. I mean, it's hard to beat them. We have 3 players on the field this year, but they refused to add a 3rd player, and they're still looking like they're going to be one of the best teams. It's just how good they are. They don't need the players. They just have the talent with the 2 guys they have right now. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to knock them down for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely the favorite this year. After winning last year, they have 2 titles under their belt already. Very experienced players. Mark's probably the favorite to win MVP again. He's probably the best all-around player in the league. He can hit, pitch, and field. This team has really good camaraderie. They love playing with each other, and they're a really exciting team to watch.
Yeah, Mark Ogden, defending MVP, probably carries the team, as I can say that as he carries me. Tanner Peterson, he's got some warning track power, but he can, get the ball in play sometimes. Last year they knocked off the Diesels to win the championship. The Diesels last year had Patrick Lipka, Matt Hodgen, and Adam Willie, but this year with Matt Hodgen on the DL, it will be up to Patrick Lipka and Adam Willie to continue in the Diesels' excellent streak. Brett, you want to talk a little about the Diesels?
I mean, real tragedy seeing Hodgin on the DL. I mean, he was one of their best players. He was definitely their best bat, and with him not being able to play, I mean, they're going to have to make some moves this offseason to get some good bats. But, I mean, pitching-wise, they're still good. They have Lipka, so pitching's not going to be an issue whatsoever for them. But getting those bats to work is going to be their main concern this year.
Yeah, they're really going to have to add a piece to this team in order to be a contender. Not only hitting the ball, they're also, with the loss of Matt Hodgen, they really need a defensive piece. He was a Gold Glove candidate both years, so they'll really miss him. But Lipka is still dominant on the mound. That'll help him win some games in this tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Patrick Lipka, one of the best pitchers in the league. The thing that works for the Diesels is they don't need much run support with Lipka on the mound, but as probably the worst hitting team of the Legends team, they will have a tough road to face this year. I've heard a lot of good stuff from training camp out of Adam Willie, the second-year player defending Rookie of the Year. Hopefully he developed into the player that the Diesels need to fill that hole that Matt Hodgen left.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Tanner. The one thing the Diesels we all talked about are going to be runs, but the thing in the field is if you hit off Patrick, you don't have your two-time back-to-back Gold Glove champion there, Matt Hodgen. That's going to be a big blow for them. I think anything put in play, probably going to get on base if it's not a Patrick, but Patrick's on the mound, if you don't hit off him, it's going to be over. So if they don't hit, it's going to be whatever type of day the Diesels bring.
So our next returning team who took home third place last year, the American Mambas. Last year they were called OVO, but this year they changed their name to the American Mambas. They are led by Kyler Stork, their captain. They have Alex Haas and Brett Lenz on their team as well. Matt, you want to talk a little about the Mambas?
Yeah, I expect them to be a really good offensive team. Kyler has a lot of home runs in his FLT career. Alex Haas is hitting in college, playing college baseball. And Brett Lenz has a lot of power as well. Three strong kids. They might struggle with pitching, but they got three solid options that they can throw on the mound. We'll see which one arises out of the three as their ace. But I look for them to have a really solid tournament, and I think a lot of us expect them to do really well this year.
When you have three solid hitters who crush the ball every time they come into the plate, you don't need much pitching support, but that might be the biggest problem for the Mambas right now. They were trying to develop a left-hander, Brett Lenz. We'll see how he performs this year in the tournament. But Kyler Stork, he's a decent pitcher, but he's not one of the elites like Patrick Lipka and Mark Ogden. We'll have to see how their arms are throwing this year to see if they can make a run deep in the tournament.
Yeah, the Mambas this year, it'll be tough to watch to see how they do. Run support's going to be there, but if the pitching support, if it's there, they're going to be a tough team to beat. So they come back to bite you.
Yeah, as a member of the Mambas, I mean, couldn't be happier with the squad. I had a lot of offers this offseason. The Diesels, good team. OVO, good team. But, I mean, of course, I picked the Mambas. You can watch the decision. There's a reason I picked them. I mean, you can't beat the teammates. I mean, great teammates, great team. I mean, I wouldn't want to pick any other team.
All right, now our fourth place team last year, the Lake Hawks, probably everybody's favorite returning team. They're led by Captain Matt Ogden, and they have two young players in Daniel Ogden and Caden Stork. A lot of great players and young players, if I might add. Daniel Ogden, I know, developed a ton this offseason. Defending home run derby champion. We'll have to see if that translates into power on the field this year. Last year, I know they weren't expecting fourth place, but they took it anyway. I know that the pitching of Caden Stork was a little on and off last year. Hopefully this year he can find the zone a little better. But I have some good expectations for the Lake Hawks this year. They're my sleeper pick.
Yeah, the Lake Hawks for me, they all have baseball IQ. They've all played baseball. They're a 15-year team if you add their experience. So they are veterans. And to win an FLT championship, you're going to need some veterans. Like, no rookie team has steamrolled besides in the first year, obviously. But when Matt's on and Caden's on and Big D's on, they're a tough team. And I believe if they can find their pitching roles, they're going to be an elite team. They're going to get back to elite level they were year one.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakehawks are kind of a paradox here. They're one of the youngest teams, but they have the most experience. I mean, it's not something you see very often, and I think, they can use those to their advantage and, really be good this year. And then, of course, you have Daniel Ogden, who is home run derby champion. I mean, he trains all offseason to get even more power. I mean, he doesn't even need it, but he's still, getting those muscles big, and I think he's going to be unstoppable this year.
Yeah, Daniel and Caden have definitely developed a lot over the years. I think they can really hold their own against the older players this year. They're a solid team. They love playing together, and I think they have a good shot at winning it this year.
Lakehawks, fun team to watch. A lot of passion in that team. So now we're moving on to our 4 expansion teams. The first expansion team is the Guards. Kyler, do you want to talk a little about them and their team members?
Yeah, so the Guards, they got in contact with me last year about the tournament, and I welcomed them in. There's going to be a two-team member team, Cole and Tristan out of Olympia. So that'll be fun to watch them as rookies to see how they progress over this competitive league. I don't expect them to make the elimination rounds. Sorry, Cole and Tristan, but you might be in the snake game.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen them play. They're rookies, obviously, but, this is a tough league. It's really hard to just come in and, expect to do well. I mean, these are veteran players who have been doing this all their lives, and it's hard to get out of that pool play round. So, we'll see how they do.
Yeah, I think they're a team that could really add another piece. Having 3 players on your team for your first year will always help. You can find out which players will do well in the field, which ones can be your ace pitcher, which ones need to be in the lineup. It just gives you more options. But I haven't seen a ton of tape on this team. Anything can happen. We don't know how they're going to do, but we wish them the best of luck.
As everyone says, experience is key. I don't think we're going to see another Diesels where they just come out their first year and win it all. I've seen a little film on Cole. He's a good left-hander. It'll be nice to have another lefty in the league. Tristan, not much information about, but I heard he is a good speed hit and power hitter. So we'll have to see what they can do this season. So the next team is Team OVO, which is not the Team OVO from the previous years. They are led by team captain Tate Wegman, and Tate had a huge pickup this offseason in Sam Fisher. Brett, you want to talk a little about Team OVO?
The move of the offseason is Sam Fisher by far. Tate did a great job getting that deal down. I love both those guys. I've known them most of my life. Great guys. I really hope they do well this tournament.
Yeah, they're a sleeper team for this year for sure. Fish is a really solid player. He's probably a favorite to win Rookie of the Year. He might be a sleeper candidate for MVP as well. Tate has some experience. He can help guide Fish along through pool play, but once pool play's over, I think Fish can really hold his own with anybody in this league.
Yeah, Sam Fisher, real big pickup for Tate Wegman and Team OVO. Sam Fisher, he's been called the biggest tryhard in wiffle ball history. Hits a homer on almost every at-bat. The key for them will be pitching, though. Tate Wegman is not the best pitcher. He's a good lefty arm when you need one. But we'll have to see how Sam Fisher pitches this year because we all know pitching is a huge key in this league. He's a power hitter, though, so if he can put up enough runs to support his pitching style, I think they have a real good chance to go deep in the tournament.
I believe OVO is definitely the star sleeper team of this tournament. If Tate can find a way to get on base, Sam's going to hit him in. It's going over the fence every time that man steps up to the plate. But they don't have pitching, and to win an FLT championship, you got to have an arm. So it can go either way. If Tate's on, he can be on, but if he's off, it's going to be ugly. So we'll have to see with the big pickup of Sam Fisher if that can carry the load into the FLT championship.
All right, so our next expansion team is Team Moisty, which is no longer in Fortnite, but they're still going to stick with Team Moisty. Kyler, who are their team members on Team Moisty?
Their captain is Garrett Murray, and then their second batter, fielder, whatever, Jackson Hefner, and then their third player is Ryan Jacob.
All right, Matt, you want to talk a little about Team Moisty?
I haven't seen a ton of tape on them, but what from I have seen, they're 3 good athletes. Three guys that could really translate well to this league. we'll see how much of a learning curve they have for the game of wiffle ball, but I expect them to be competitive. I think they could hold their own in this league.
Yeah, they're all three good natural athletes out there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up some wins that people don't expect them to. I've seen some film on Garrett playing basketball only, but he's a natural athlete out there, one of the best athletes on the court, and we'll see if that translates onto the field.
Yeah, Moisty, I believe they're probably the quickest team in the FLT. They're all good, athletic, body-built type people, and you never know I don't see them any as home run hitters, but if you put the ball in play and you're fast, you can beat out the pitcher's hand rule. My guess is they probably make the snake game. Sorry, my boy Garrett, but I don't see him making elimination, buddy. But good luck to your club.
Yeah, another candidate for the snake game, Team Moisty. But I mean, you never know at this tournament. I mean, we thought the Diesels would be bad their first year and they won it, so you never know. I mean, you could say a team's going to be bad and they'll shock you. I mean, it's so hard to predict what's going to happen. I mean, it's such an unpredictable tournament. So many crazy things happen. I mean, who knows?
Now, this last expansion team, Team Legacy, one of the most anticipated expansion teams. Kyler, can you tell us about their team members?
Yeah, so Team Legacy, they have a captain, Jimmy Peterson. Their second player is Jonathan Calliot, and then their third player is Dawson Jones.
Now, Jimmy Peterson, with a last name like that, you expect him to be an amazing wiffle ball player. Both these guys have played baseball their whole lives and are making a collegiate career out of it. I mean, we saw what happened when the Diesels tried to translate that to wiffle ball. They had a rocky start, but they won the championship. We'll just have to see how long it takes the Legacy to translate from baseball to wiffle ball, and if that happens soon enough, they could be a real good bet for the championship. Tyler?
It's tough to think about, man, but the Legacy, I feel like they're going to come out. They're all baseball IQ athletes. They're probably going to end up in the elimination later rounds, but you never know in the FLT where you end up. I could see them in the championship. It's just I've never seen either three of those guys pitch. So if they have a hurler, you could probably see them in the FLT championship. It's a good bet.
If there's a team that's going to pull off another Diesel stunt their first year, it's going to be Team Legacy. But of course, this year pool play is going to be a lot shorter, so a lot less time to kind of work out the kinks, get the rust off. So it's going to be harder for them to win a ship, I think, than the Diesels, but I think they still definitely have a chance.
Yeah, of any of the expansion teams, I think many regard them as having the best chance to win this tournament. Three solid players on their team. Something they'll have to determine is who will stand out as their ace on their team. I think they'll figure that out as the tournament goes on.
All right, so that's been all 8 teams, the 4 new teams, and the 4 expansion teams. Now, the FLT Tonight crew, we're going to predict some of the awards. You viewers at home might not know some of the newer players, and if we think they fit an award, we might nominate them as a prediction. But first off, let's talk about the most coveted award, the Sportsmanship Award. Last year, Adam Willie of the Diesels took that one home. The Mike Ogden Sportsmanship Award, named after the Mike Ogden. Matt, Kyler, you want to talk a little about who you think is going to win the Sportsmanship Award?
Yeah, so the Mike Ogden Sportsmanship Award is awarded to the player who has the best sportsmanship throughout the day. And last year, Adam Willie took that award. So this year, I'm thinking Adam's probably going to take it again. But Adam, if you're watching this, please do not post it on Instagram 27 times that you won the Sportsmanship Award. You can post it once or twice, but all right, you feel me? Thanks, buddy.
I mean, it's the Mike Ogden Sportsmanship Award. I got to go with his favorite son, Matt Ogden. I think Matt's definitely got this one on the
The best Ogden out there, my boy Matt.
I appreciate that. My pick for the Sportsmanship Award is Tate Wegman. He's a solid player, but he's a good person too. Never complains, never argues with the umpire. He's always a great teammate, so I expect him to win this award.
Now, the easiest thing about the Sportsmanship Award is to think of a few players that will not be winning it. I could name at least 5 of them, but as Matt said, Tate Wegman, he's probably going to have to be my pick. He's just a great overall guy, great attitude, just makes a great atmosphere around him, makes everyone happy around him. Another couple sleeper picks on this is Daniel Ogden, if he's not too busy playing with the pyrotechnics in the outfield. and Garrett from Team Moisties. He's a good guy, but I think Tate Wegman's going to be my pick. And then this next award, Rookie of the Year, which we have 4 new teams full of rookies. Last year, Adam Willie of the Diesels took it home. Kind of coincidence. He was the only rookie, so I don't know if you can call him Rookie of the Year, but we'll call him it anyway. Brett, who do you think is going to win it this year?
I mean, it's so hard to say this year. There's so many rookies, so many great rookies, but I mean, I got to go with the Fish, Sam Fisher. He's a great baseball player. Tate did a great job picking him up this offseason. I think he'll be a star player for OVO and star player in the league.
Yeah, I agree with Brett. I'm going to go with Sam Fisher for Rookie of the Year. He's got a smooth swing. He can hit just about anything. He hits for power, average. I expect him to make a lot of noise in this tournament with his bat.
Same. I think I got to go with Sam Fisher, Sprecher Pack 16 out there. Lucky there's no cap room in the FLT, or that offer would have been way over it. But that was a huge pickup by Tate. He's definitely going to open some eyes from some of the veterans of this league.
Yeah, I was going to go clean sweep, but Sam Fisher, all he can do is hit. If he doesn't hit over the fence, he's probably going to get out. Sorry, Sam. You know you're slow, too. So I'm going to go with my boy, Jonathan. I think everybody sleeps on him, and he's just going to be the guy that no one expects to be, and he's going to faux six this tournament.
All right, we've talked about a lot of guys with power this year. The Home Run King is the award given to the person with the most home runs. It's not voted on by anyone. It's done statistically. Will be voted on if there's a tie, of course. Matt, who do you think the Home Run King's going to be this year?
I'm going to go with Sam Fisher again. I think he's got a great swing. He puts the bat on the ball just about every at bat. He makes a lot of good things happen out there, so I think he'll end up with the most home runs when it's all said and done.
I agree with Matt there. If you've seen the muscles on that kid, you would agree with me. Every pitch he seems to see goes out of the park, you know. Hopefully his swing is working today. That'll be key for Team OVO, but I think Sam Fisher is still going to end the day with the most home runs, even if he has a bad day.
What number did Jackie Robinson wear in the Major League Baseball Association?
42.
That's how many home runs I have. And quite frankly, that's going to go up this year. So I'm winning Home Run King.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I got to agree with you, Kyler. I mean, statistically speaking, you can't argue it. He's got the most home runs in the past tournaments. He's a great hitter. I'm super happy to be on his team. I mean, I think he's got it again this year.
We'll see if Sam Fisher's experience can knock off Kyler Stork. Also, every year we have a home run derby in between pool play and the postseason. The past 2 times, and the only 2 times, Daniel Ogden, the Lakehawks, has won it. This year, anyone could win it, especially with the 4 new teams. I personally think Big D's going to carry it on. I mean, he's just got the experience in the home run derby and the power. Sam Fisher might be a close runner-up. I mean, we've been talking about Fish all day, but I think Daniel Ogden's going to keep the crown as the home run derby champion.
Couldn't agree with you more there, Tanner. Big D, my boy. Love you, fam. So I expect you to repeat. Please do it.
I mean, again, if you're talking statistics, you can't argue Dan. He's won it the past 2 years. I don't see why he won't do it again.
Yeah, I think we all agree up here. I'm going with Daniel as well. He's won twice in a row. I expect him to do the same. He has a great swing, lots of power, and he likes to put on a show, and all the fans love him. So I think he'll do it again this year.
As they say, everybody loves Big D. So this next award, going from hitting to pitching, the Cy Young Award. Last year, Mark Ogden took it home, and the year before, Patrick Lipka. The 2 best pitchers in FLT history. Kyler, who do you think's going to take it home this year?
You already know my pick. Marky boy, love you. Firefly gang, brought us a ship there. His arm's good. It's one of the God-gifted, so Mark Ogden for sure.
I mean, I got to go with the Ogden sweep. Dan, Matt, and Mark are all going to win awards, and Mark's going to win the Cy Young. I think the Ogdens are the best baseball family. I mean, this town's ever seen. You can't argue it. Mark's got one of the best arms in the league. I mean, year in, year out, he constantly puts on a show for all of us, so I think Mark's definitely got it.
I'm going to go with Patrick Lipka. He has a solid fastball. At times, it's untouchable. I expect him to do well in this tournament. If the Diesels want a chance to win this tournament, he's going to have to carry the team with his arm. So I expect him to put on a great performance on the mound.
and I'm going to have to go with Mark Ogden. As his teammate, standing behind him this year, I'm going to ask for a chair because I never have to do anything. He seems to strike out everyone. His arm, blessed by Sagi, fed the food of her kitchen. I mean, it's just incredible standing behind him and not have to do anything, and he just puts rings on your hand. Mark did also win the MVP award last year, as well as the Cy Young. This year, of course, with all the new players, you never know who's going to win it, but we're going to try to predict it. Brett Lenz, you want to try to make a guess?
I mean, there's so many candidates. I mean, I might have to go with Rookie of the Year Fish. I think he's got a great bat, and I think if he can bring OVO to a decent place, I think he'll definitely be able to win MVP.
I'm going to go with Mark Ogden for MVP. He won it last year. He just does it all on the field. He's a Cy Young candidate every year. He won that award as well last year. He's a solid bat. He can just carry his team to a championship again, and I think everybody expects that.
I was a little upset Matt said he carried his team to a championship, but I have to agree. If you look at the numbers last year, his teammates put up horrible statistics, striking out pretty much every at-bat, and he just carried his team to the championship. I mean, as I said, he just puts rings on my fingers, you know. It's that simple, being his teammate. He's definitely a lock for me this year as the MVP.
Yeah, it's locked up for me as well. This player has been working very, very hard, and I would love to see him just 4-6 and go off this year. He carried his team last year. He got his hit before his team captain got his first hit. And you know, this player, he's gonna go off this year. I'm sorry. My boy Adam Willey is gonna win the Fox Lake Wiffle Ball 5th annual Most Valuable Player.
Interesting choice. That's all 6 of our awards, as you've heard our panel's picks. Popular names out there were Sam Fisher and Mark Ogden, so those are 2 big names to watch, as expected. So now, we're wrapping up the show here a little, but we got to predict how we think teams are going to place. Let's start with 4th place. There's 8 teams, top 6 going to a bracket. Who do you think the final 4 are going to be? Matt, what do you think the 4th place team's going to be?
4th place, I got the Legacy. I think they'll be the highest finishing team among the expansion teams.
I've also got an expansion team, a little curveball. I picked Team Moisty. I think if they can find that arm they need on the mound, they will be dominant with their 3 athletes at the plate. You know, speed kills in this league. If you can't get the ball to the pitcher in time, it's a hit no matter what. So I think this fast team, and they're all natural athletes, so defense and just getting the ball in play will be big keys for them.
I'm going to go with veteranship here. The Lakehawks are probably going to take 4th. They got the experience as every team needs, and I feel like they'll get hot at the right moment in pool play, and they'll get a good seed, and they'll just fall out in the end. They'll lose.
For 4th place, I'm going to say Legacy. I'm going to put an expansion team there. I think they'll work out the kinks in the pool rounds, but I think once it comes tournament time, they'll be able to climb, and I'll have them at 4th.
All right, now 3rd place. I picked the Lakehawks, and if you really think about it, this team has a chance to go deep this year. If Caden Stork's arm is firing on all cylinders like it has in the past, then they will be a threat this year, especially with Matt Ogden, relieving him and Matt Ogden at the plate. And if Daniel Ogden, I know he's worked so hard this offseason to get big for football, but mainly wiffle ball, I think he can really hit the ball a couple country miles out there at this new field.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go one of the expansion teams, the Legacy. I feel like they will be the highest placed expansion teams we have. They got great baseball IQ, and I feel like that'll carry over to wiffle ball, obviously, and they'll get hot, and they'll stay hot until the end, until the veteranship beats them.
I'm going to put Lakehawks at 3rd. They're a good team. They have, like I said before, they have one of the youngest teams, but also the most experienced. So I think that combination is really gonna boost up their place, and I think they'll get 3rd.
I have the Lakehawks finishing 3rd as well. They're a very experienced team, so that should carry them deep into this tournament. There's a lot of other good teams in this tournament, but I have them finishing 3rd this year.
All right, now we're on to 2nd place here, the championship game losers. Kyler, who do you have as your 2nd place team?
It was a tough decision, but I have the Apes finishing 2nd. I feel like it's tough to go back-to-back in FLT. It can be done, but I just don't see it happening. So I have them falling out in the end, but they'll definitely not lose a game until the championship. Calling that right now.
I'm gonna go with the Mambas. Great team, great pieces there that are gonna really bring this team up, and I think they'll be able to get second place.
Yeah, I'm going with the Mamas as well for the runner-up. I think their bats will carry them to this point, but I think pitching will ultimately be their downfall. I don't think they have an ace that can really carry them to that championship this year.
And for my second place, I have the Legacy. I mean, great baseball IQ, and if they can just hit the ball, I mean, there's pretty much unstoppable, but I have them in a second place, still trying to figure out how to transition from baseball to wiffle ball. So now we're on to our champions, and Brett, I'll let you start talking about your championship first. Now, if you want to talk about why you didn't put a team in the top 4, go ahead and do that. That's fine.
I got the Apes at first place. They're year in, year out, they're a good team. It's hard to go back to back, but I think they can do it. One of the legend teams that I left out on the top 4 was the Diesels. If they can make any moves before the signing deadline, I don't know if they're going to be able to make the top 4. I mean, Lipka's a great pitcher, but they need that run support, so we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Apes to win this tournament. They've won twice before, so they definitely know what it takes to win this tournament. Tanner and Mark play well together. Mark comes up in the clutch as well as Tanner in the big game. I left OVO and Diesel slightly out of the top 4. I had to really think about that one. If either of these teams add a piece, they definitely could slide into that top 4. We'll see what moves they make, though, before the tournament.
Now, I may be a little biased, but some of the rest of the committee agrees with me. I have the Apes number 1. Mark Ogden, possibly the greatest player in FLT history. I mean, if he is pitching well like he did last year, there's no way the Apes can be stopped. If he can just hit one ball out of the park, that's enough to do it for the Apes. Now, I did leave the Diesels out of my top 4. I just don't think they have the run support to be able to support Lipka's pitching. I mean, Patrick Lipka last year got like only a handful of hits, and I mean, Hodgen really stepped up getting on base there. In the American Mambas, I think if they can find that one good pitcher on their team, I think they can easily crack the top 4, but I just don't think the pitching is where it needs to be if they want to be top 4.
I got the American Mamas taking the 2018 FLT championship. I left the Team Moisty out and Team OVO slightly. I think they'll peak too late, and next year they'll good. I mean, Team Moisty is full of athletes, so is Team OVO, but I just couldn't put them in there. I don't see them sitting in the top 4. Otherwise, the guards, love you, Cole and Tristan, but good luck, buds.
All right, well, this has been the 2018 edition of FLT Tonight. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add or say to the viewers at home?
Watch the decision on YouTube.
Definitely.
It's great.
Thank you guys for all the support for all these 4 years. Can't wait to give you a good 5th year of good Premier Wiffle Ball. Keep watching. Keep spreading our Fox Lake name out there. FLT.
All right, for Kyler Stork, Brett Lentz, Matt Ogden, I'm Tanner Peterson. This has been the 2018 edition of FLT Tonight. We'll see you at the tourney.